Hello, everyone. Is everybody here? I'm Dr. Kawthar. I'm an educational psychologist. I'm here with Mr. Sam today, who is going to talk about his struggles with dyslexia and ADHD. And I'm here with Ahmed Abdelhamid, who is an educational specialist. So I will let them introduce themselves. Go ahead, Sam.
Hello, everyone. I am Sam Hoffman, or you could call me Sam Samuel Hoffman. I am a certified business consultant and high-performance executive coach. And as everybody knows, everyone will know, I've been struggling with, I would say, not struggling, but dealing with dyslexia and ADHD throughout my life.
Okay. I'm Ahmed Abdelhamid. I will translate what they are saying in Arabic now. Okay. دكتور كوثر هي أخصائي نفسي تربوي حاصلة على الدكتوراه، وهي صاحبة أول مركز في عمان اتفتح عام 2008 لتأهيل ذوي الاحتياجات الخاصة. وهنتكلم إن شاء الله النهاردة مع الأستاذ سام عن هو استشاري في يعني استشاري أعمال معتمد، بمعنى إن هو بيدرب الشركات أو بيدرب العاملين في الشركات إنهم يطلعوا إزاي أعلى جودة منهم. Yes, doctor.
Okay, Sam, at what age were you diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia, and how did it impact your early life, especially your childhood?
Between the age of 6, I believe, I was diagnosed. As how it impacted in the beginning was quite negative, essentially because of treatment I would get from those around me, especially a viewpoint of teachers and such.
Okay.
Could you repeat again, please, Mr. Sam?
I said as I was diagnosed from the age of 6, and as a child hears of people around them more often. So, essentially I could see the way the treatment was different compared to other students, especially when we're talking about teachers.
اوكي، هي الدكتوره كوثر سالته هو انت تشخصت بصعوبات التعلم بالاي دي اتش دي وصعوبات التعلم في الكتابه في سن قد ايه؟ فقال ان هو تشخص في سن 6 سنوات، لكن في بعض الاطفال بتشخص اقل من كده واعلى من كده، حسب ما الدكتور حسب مع المعلم او الاخصائي بيكون عارف الاعراض، فبالتالي بيبدا يشخصه في سن مبكر. يس دكتور.
Okay. What did you have any specific challenges that you faced in school as a result of your ADHD and dyslexia?
Yes, that would be singing dancing letters.
Could you please, Mr. Sam, near the mic or up your voice, please? Sorry.
Yeah. How about now? Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. As a kid, I used to call them dancing letters because I had this, as a dyslexic, I would see the letters move about, especially when you're trying to read B and D and certain letters that are opposite of each other. They used to move around the page. So I did have quite a difficulty with that. Especially there were some incidences when the teacher would say, I want you to read this or do this, and I would say, I'm waiting for the letters to stop dancing, which was quite difficult at that time.
Okay, talking about teachers, Ahmed, translate.
Yeah. Before I translate, please, I need to say something for the followers. I will say it in English and in Arabic. That's very good like experience to hear about the disorder from the one he is diagnosed by it. Like Temple Grandina, she is diagnosed before by ASD, and she write more books about ASD, so you can go inside the disorder. دي حاجه مهمه جدا او حاجه حلوه جدا انك تسمع عن الاضطراب من الشخص اللي كان فيه اضطراب، لانه بيحكي لك ادق تفاصيل حياته لحد ما وصل للجزئيه دي بتكون اصدق واشمل من اي اختبارات اخرى. الدكتوره سالته سؤال، قالت له ازاي هل انت كنت بتعاني من تحدي معين او مشكله معينه في الاكاديمي. فمستر سام قال ان هو كان الحروف والارقام letters and number بيشوفهم على السبوره بيرقصوا، فكان دايما يعني بيتحركوا كده مش عارف ان هو يكتب الحروف. اعتقد ده كان اتعرض قبل كده في فيلم يعني هندي قبل كده عن صعوبات التعلم. كذلك كان مش بيعرف الفرق او بيتلخبط بين الاحرف المتشابهه والارقام المتشابهه زي التسعه والسته بالانجليزي، زي مثلا زي حرف البي والبي بالانجليزي والى اخره. يعني كان بيتلخبط بين الحروف المتشابهه والاصوات المتشابهه وبيشوف الحاجه على السبوره بتلعب. يس دكتور.
Okay. Speaking of teachers, did you find that they treated you different than the other students?
Yes, to a very up to a certain age, especially when I was younger, there was a big difference of the treatment. Not it was more of a negative impact, and it really took. I guess it took out the inspiration of learning at the time. It was harder for me to learn. Not only did I not have the backing of my teachers, I was also called names such as mentally retarded and such at that age. So it was quite negative for me, especially up to the age of 10 and 11.
Oh,
Okay.
I have a question before I translate, please. Do you think the rehabilitation now is better more than before?
Yes, of course.
اوكي. الدكتوره كانت سالته هل انت لما تم تشخيصك وانت صغير هل كان المعلمين بيعاملوك بحاله خاصه او تم تاهيلك بشكل كويس؟ فقال ان كان في صعوبه جدا ايامها. يعني مثلا نتكلم مثلا من 25 سنه ما كانش لسه May I know how old are you now?
I'm 31.
31. يعني تقريبا من 25 سنه هو عنده 31 سنه فتشخص هو عنده 6 سنين. فمعنى كده انه من حوالي 25 سنه كان التاهيل غير دلوقتي تماما ومختلف عن دلوقتي تماما. كان بيجدوا صعوبه اصلا في اكتشاف الديس اوردرز دي. فهو وجد صعوبه كبيره جدا في التعامل مع الاشخاص، والمدرسين وجدوا صعوبه جدا في التعامل معاه. وسالته اذا كان شايف ان التاهيل دلوقتي افضل من زمان ولا لا. فقال ليه؟ لان حاليا انت بتلاقي حد يشخصك ثم تلاقي حد يأهلك. يس دكتور.
Do you find that the teachers at that time, when you were going through, say, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, they compared you with the other students and said negative things to you in front of your the other classmates? And how did that make you feel?
Well, as if we're comparing at that age, it was a definite like negative reaction. First of all, they would say things such as mentally retarded and things to my face and the other classmates, which resulted in bullying. And it just excelled from there. It just got worse and worse as days progressed, and it was a very difficult time and a dark time for me, actually.
الدكتوره سالته هل المدرسين طب في الاعدادي او الثانوي بداوا يدمجوك مع الاشخاص التانيين، وهل لو دمجوك هل كنت بتلاحظ حاجه مختلفه؟ فقال ان هو كان دايما حاسس ان المدرسه دي يعني نقطه مظلمه بالنسبه له. ليه؟ لان لما كان بيروح كان المدرسين بيعاملوه بطريقه مختلفه طبعا، يعني بطريقه نيجاتيف او سلبيه، زائد ان الاطفال كانوا بيعتبروه شيء برضه مختلف. فدايما كانوا دايما بيبعدوا عنه او دايما بيوصموه بوصمات مش كويسه او اسماء مش كويسه فقط لانه مختلف عنه. يس دكتور.
Okay. How did ADHD and dyslexia affect your self-esteem growing up, especially in your learning environment, and especially with how you were treated?
Could you read please again, doctor?
Okay. How did ADHD and dyslexia affect your self-esteem growing up, especially in a tradition?
Self-esteem means
Self-esteem, like
رغبة النفس. الإحساس النفسي.
Okay.
Growing up, especially in a traditional learning environment.
Okay, let me. As if we're talking about self-esteem, I didn't really have much of a self-esteem, especially around between the age of 8 to 11. it got really bad for me. I was unable to learn. When we get down to it, I was basically just going and sitting in a chair all day. It got very difficult, first of all. Um, the teachers not only didn't want to actually teach me anything, they just let me be. Essentially, it affected my behavior. It affected my overall treatment of my classmates, teachers, and overall siblings and parents at home. So in overall, it gave a very bad, I guess you could say, an overall bad behavior. Essentially, that was the result of it.
Okay, هو I have to say that also why he speak in Arabic, so I need to translate that. دلوقتي هو دكتور او المستر سام اتكلم بلغه عربيه في بعض الكلمات، لان هو عماني امريكي فيعرف بعض الكلمات العربي، فما شاء الله ساعدنا في الجزئيه دي، لكن هو لا يحسن العربيه بشكل تام يعني. الدكتوره كانت بتسال هل الاي دي اتش دي كان بيعيق الاحساس النفسي او يعني ايه اللي كان بيحصل لما بيتقال ان انت اي دي اتش دي، او ايه اللي كان بيظهر يعني مع المدرسين. فاتقال ان هو اولا ما كانش بيقدر يقعد، ما كانش بيقدر يتعلم، وكان المدرسين دايما مش فاهمين الجزئيتين دول، فبالنسبه له دي كانت مشكله اكبر لانهم مش عارفين يتعاملوا معاه او يأهلوه كويس. يس دكتور.
Okay. Now we talked about some of the negative teachers that you had in your life.
Okay.
Now I want to go into more of the positive. Were there any teachers or mentors that helped you navigate these learning difficulties? If so, how did they help you navigate these difficulties?
Let's see. If you're talking about positive, I think the first teacher would be an Arabic teacher back when I was in the U.S. as a kid. Though I do not remember her name. What was her name? Okay. Anyways, she was an Arabic teacher essentially. She was one of the first teachers that was kind to me. I don't know whether she helped me in what do you call it, my dyslexia or ADHD, but I do remember she gave me positive influence and made me enjoy the classes with her. That's one thing I can remember. Going forward from that, other teachers on a positive outlook came later in my teens.
اوكي. دكتوره سالته بتقول له طب احنا اتكلمنا عن المدرسين السلبيين او النيجاتيف تيتشرز، دلوقتي هنتكلم عن البوزيتيف تيتشرز. فهو قال ان هو كان اول حد اتعامل معاه بايجابيه كان مدرسه العربي، كانت هو طبعا كان بيدرس في امريكا في اليو اس، فاول حد اتعامل معاه بايجابيه كان مدرسه العربي. هو مش قادر يفتكر يعني اسمها ايه، المعامله الطيبه اللي هي عملته بيها، وان هي حتى هو مش فاكر هي ساعدته في ايه، في الاي دي اتش دي او ديسلكسيا، ولكن هو فاكر ان هي خلته يقدر يخش الصف ويتفاعل مع الاشخاص المحيطين. وده يبين لك نقطه معينه او كويسه، ربما انك تنسى يعني اسماء الاشخاص، ولكن ما تنساش الاثر الطيب اللي هم سابوه فيك. يس دكتور.
Okay, how about later on, like in your teens? How did these teachers encourage you?
Let me think about this one. They took the time, essentially, I would say. They not only did they take the time to teach, they got time to know their students. They essentially took an input of weaknesses and strengths, and they focused on where to focus on, basically what was needed to be done at the certain time or what needed to be taught at that time. There was one British teacher I had who she was very good in dealing with me, especially because I was really out there at the time, especially in my teens, especially with my ADHD. I couldn't even sit down. So, and especially as a teenager, I'm sure you guys, you've dealt with teenagers, bad habits, bad words, you name it, but she still knew how to deal with all that and made me feel welcome in the classroom. So, over that, that is one of the teachers that I really liked.
اوكي. الدكتوره سالته يعني هل في حد تاني او في مدرسين تاني ساعدوك وازاي ساعدوك؟ فقال ان الموضوع طبعا خد وقت كبير، ففي على مدار السنوات دي في ناس يعني ساعدوه، منهم معلم بريطاني. هو فاكر برضه هو عمل معاه ايه لكن مش فاكر اسمه. قال ان المعلم البريطاني ده كان بيشتغل على نقاط الضعف بتاعته ويقوي نقاط القوه. ولما كان في اشخاص تانية تينيجر يعني مراهقين بيحاولوا ان هم ينعتوه باسماء مش كويسه او يقولوا له مثلا انت اسلوبك سيء، انت كان هو بيقف معاه ويحاول، لان هو ما كانش بيقدر مثلا يقعد عن الاتش دي، مش بيقعد على الكرسي، دايما بيلف وبيتحرك، فهو كان بيحاول ان هو يهديه ويقعده ويخليه يتفاعل مع الاشخاص المحيطين ويبعد عنه الاشخاص السيئين. يس دكتور.
Okay, how do you feel that ADHD and dyslexia affected your personal life as you went into adulthood?
Oh yeah,
Last
that.
one please. Affected
Huh?
your life what?
Wait a minute. How do you feel how do you feel ADHD and dyslexia affected your personal life as you went into adulthood?
Okay.
Okay. In a very big way, actually, because in my younger years, I was more of an extrovert. I was outgoing. I was social. I was ready to be anybody's friend. But as I entered adulthood, it was a 180-degree opposite. I was more reserved. I kept to myself, and I'm not easy to make friends. Um, Essentially, I keep an eye on those who I let into my circle, and essentially, so it was quite difficult. Not only was it hard personally, but even working. When I was building my career, it was quite difficult managing my personal life with my career.
اوكي. الدكتوره سالته يعني الى اي مدى بتشعر يعني ان الديسلكسيا والاي دي اتش دي تعيق او اثرت في البيرسونال لايف اللي هي حياتك الشخصيه. فقال هي اثرت في جانبين. على الجانب يعني الشخصي ما كانش بيقدر يكون صداقات او يكون علاقات مع الاشخاص التانيين ده وهو سنه صغير لحد ما كبر يعني. والحاجه الثانيه هي كانت بتعيقه كمان في العمل، لانه ما بيروح مش بيقدر ان هو يكون زمايل او اصدقاء في العمل، ده برضو كانوا بيعيقه. هو حس ان هو كان حاطط نفسه في دايره مغلقه، يعني قافل على نفسه كده وهو فقط اللي موجود في الدايره. انا حتى سالته قبل المحاضره اذا كان لي اي اصدقاء تانيين، فقال لي يعني هو ما عندوش لحد الان اي صديق تماما. برضو نساله تاني ونتاكد منه. Mr. Sam, you said you have difficulty to make friends. This
Yes.
when you was young or till now?
Till now, I don't really make friends. I have 3 people basically I hang around, and they are relatives. They're not. You wouldn't say they're from outside.
هو سالته تاني هل صعوبه تكوين اصدقاء ده وانت صغير ولا لحد الان؟ فقال لحد الان. وقال هو فقط يعتبر في 3 اشخاص هم اللي يعتبروا قريبين منه، بس دول مش كاصدقاء، دول افراد من العائله. يس دكتور.
Just one. Let me add one point.
Yeah.
Over the years, the only friend from outside that I've made is the one that I got engaged to. That's about it. Other than that, I have not let anybody inside.
Could you repeat again?
I said the only friend I've made so far is the woman that I got engaged to.
Okay.
Okay. Other than that, I have not let anyone inside.
اوكي. بقول ان يعني السيده الوحيده او البنت الوحيده اللي سمح لها ان هي تكون يعني صديقه لي خطبها. اي حد تاني ما سمحلوش بدخول المنطقه دي. يس دكتور.
Okay. How has ADHD and dyslexia, how has it affected your professional life?
Professionally, it had hit hard when I was younger, especially because there are times that ADHD can ADHD and dyslexia, when they are mixed together, they tend to have a certain how would I put this? I guess you could say certain effects at certain times, like essentially depression. Because
depression.
yeah, this is a bit off topic, but let me just put it out there because it was all together. I also have bipolar with ADHD and dyslexia, and there was a time when I was working that it had
Sorry,
affected me to a degree.
sorry, Mr. Sam. Could you repeat again because someone is calling me, so I went out. Sorry.
Uh, yeah, I
You
said
said when you was young.
uh, I said I also suffer from bipolar, including ADHD and dyslexia. And when there was a time a few years ago that it had affected me to a certain degree, I was unable to work because depression will set into a certain degree that you cannot function mentally.
Hmm.
And it took me, I literally had to get out of my own head to move past that situation.
Yeah, that's a thing to mention, that a lot of people that do have dyslexia, ADHD, a lot of them do suffer from depression as well.
اوكي. الدكتوره سالته كيف اثرت يعني الاي دي اتش دي والديسلكسيا على البروفيشنال لايف، مش البيرسونال لايف او حياتك العمليه يعني. فهو قال ان هو كان بيعاني من الاثنين، سفر يعني كان بيعاني من الاي دي اتش دي والديسلكسيا، وده كان بيخليه مش قادر يشتغل مع الناس المحيطه لان هو لا فاهمهم ولا هم فاهمينه. وكان كمان اللي بيعاني من الاكتئاب او الاكتئاب الدبريشن كان مسيطر عليه بشكل كبير، وكان بيحاول كتير ان هو يخرج من ده. الدكتوره ضافت ان الناس اللي عندهم اي دي اتش دي غالبا بيكونوا عندهم اضطرابات زي اضطراب الدبريشن او الاكتئاب. انا هساله حاليا ان هو عمال يقول when I was young when I was young، فعايز اعرف هل هو was young لما كبر الموضوع اتعدل ولا لا. دكتور مستر سام، as you said every answer you said when I was young.
Yeah,
Is this
when I
mean
say
this
when
is,
I s- when I say when I was young, I'm not
yeah,
saying young as a child. I'm saying in my 20s to mid 20s. So it is when I was an adult.
it's not dumb,
Yeah,
it's not young. Okay.
I said yeah.
Okay.
I was using the term young because I take it as I've already matured.
اوكي. هو بيعني يعني بالواز يونج او ان هو صغير في السن من 20 ل 25 سنه. يس دكتور.
Okay. Let me see. What strategies have you learned, have you developed to manage ADHD and dyslexia in the workplace? This is a good time to show that book that you showed me and Ahmed.
Yeah. Essentially, I use a habit tracker. I use it just as an example. I write things that I do on a daily basis and I check them day by day. I also have a weekly column and a monthly column, what I'm doing. Essentially, I have to keep track of everything, including taking my medicine, including praying, anything that I need to do, whether it's work related or personal. I write it
Tracker
down.
means alarm.
No, a tracker does not mean alarm. It means a checkpoint. It means something that you are keeping an eye on. Okay,
okay.
You can have an alarm if you want, but that doesn't work for me because I just think of an alarm as a nice ringtone.
Okay, show them the tracker again.
Let's go to basically I'll do it like this so you guys get an idea. This is one of the newer pages. All right, I have things that I plan to do on a daily basis, and I check them day by day throughout the month. Okay, and then of course on the lower there is a weekly column and a monthly column, which I will what I do. And I also have a different one that is for work. This one is just the personal one.
Okay. Okay, that's all.
Yeah.
اوكي. الدكتوره كانت بتسالته يعني ايه اكتر استراتيجيه تنظيم حياتك مع الاي دي اتش دي والديسلكسيا. فقال ان هو الطريقه الامثل بالنسبه له كانت ان هو بيعمل زي جداول كده او تراكرز، معناها جداول يوميه وجداول اسبوعيه وجداول شهريه. انا المفروض انجز ده النهارده، المفروض انجز ده خلال الاسبوع، المفروض انجز ده خلال الشهر. وكان بيعمل جنبها زي علامه كده، الحاجه اللي بينجزها كان بيعمل عليها علامه ان هو انجزها او مره. كان عامل بقى في التراكرز ده، عامل في البيت عنده يعني في حياته الشخصيه، وعامل ده كمان في حياته العمليه. ده ساعده على تنظيم حياته جدا مع ال ADHD. Yes, doctor.
Okay. Can you describe how your ADHD affects your ability to focus and manage tasks as a business coach?
Let's first get into one point so people understand. Business coaching is not a job for me. It's more of a lifestyle. So I enjoy it quite a lot, especially in something that I'm familiar with, something that I know my strength and weaknesses in. So when it comes to business coaching or consultancy, I'm aware of what I need to do and how to do it. So when it comes to focusing, I can focus 100% in the field. It is only outside. Let me add one point. Dyslexic and ADHD are very particular to things they enjoy, whether it might be work, it might be certain things like cars or keys or what it may be in their a certain period of their ages. So for me, work is more of a hobby for me. So when I start
More
the day
what?
and I start,
More happy? Habits
it's
means or
more of
happy?
no hobby. Hobby means something that's fun.
Okay, hobby.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, HOBBY, hobby.
Okay.
What do you call it? It is something that I enjoy. So from the moment I start working in the day, I am focused 100%. It is when I stop working and my mind sort of slows down, then is when I'm having trouble to focus. But throughout my business day, I am focused 100%. It
That's
just
mean
I
when you are working, you have 100% focus.
Yes, that is
Af-
because I learned a technique. And this has nothing to do with ADHD or anything. It is a technique anybody can learn. It's called flow. It's the flow state. It's when you learn how to close certain elements like your hearing or other sounds that are like as they call the outer noise, and you
Okay.
learn to focus on one thing. That is
Okay.
what I've learned.
If you are focusing 100% in your work, why you didn't take it to your personal life
Because I don't know how.
till now?
Yeah.
اوكي. الدكتوره سالته طيب ازاي انت عندك ADHD وازاي شغال لايف كوتشنج، بعيدا عن رايي في اللايف كوتشنج او كده. هي سالته ازاي انت شغال لايف كوتشنج مع وجود ال ADHD، فقال لها اللايف كوتشنج بالنسبه له مش شغل، مش وظيفه، هو بالنسبه له اسلوب حياه. ليه؟ لانه بيعرف من خلالها نقاط القوه ونقاط الضعف، ده نفس الحاجه اللي احنا بنتابعها مع ال ADHD، وبيبدا يشتغل عليها. واكد ان هو موجود في الشغل وهو بيشتغل الشغلانه دي اللي هي بالنسبه له اسلوب حياه. بيكون انا حتى اساله في السؤال ده يعني بعد كده ازاي في ممكن يكون في تناقض شويه في الحته دي، ازاي اسلوب حياه وازاي في الشغل بس في فوكس يعني. فبقول ان هو في الشغل بيكون يعني 100% مركز. ليه؟ لانه بيدخل على الشغل ده مش بيعتبره شغل، بيعتبر ان هو بيستمتع بيه، وهو عارف التكنيك ازاي يمشي فيه. يعني هو ليه بيبقى الفوكسنج عنده عالي جدا وهو شغال لايف كوتش، انه عارف ازاي التكنيك اللي بيمشي بيه الاسلوب ده. فانا سالته طيب ليه ما تاخدش ده اللايف كوتشنج تخليه بقى في حياتك العمليه، بحيث ان التركيز يكون كمان في العمل وكمان في الحياه الشخصيه. فقال ان هو مش عارف ازاي يعمل ده. طيب انا هساله دكتور you said life coaching is lifestyle.
Yes.
So you are focusing in life coaching when you are work life coaching.
Let's clarify something. You're talking about life coaching. I am not a life coach. I'm a business coach. Okay,
Business.
I do business consultancy and high performance executive coaching. I coach people on an innovation and upgrade it in a corporate setting.
سوري
Yeah.
اوكي. هو بيقول ان هو مش لايف كوتشنج، هو بزنس كوتشنج، معنى ان هو بيدرب الاشخاص داخل الشركه نفسها عشان يعلوا من ادائهم داخل الشركه. اوكي دكتور، عشان كده هو مش قادر ينقل يعني هو خلاص فهم الجزئيه دي في الشغل، فبيقدر يتبع تكنيك معين بيبقى مركز معاه ويعلم من اداء الاشخاص دي، لكن مش قادر ينقل ده في حياته الشخصيه. اوكي دكتور.
Yeah, the technique he's talking about is called flow, and it is a recommended technique for a lot of things, especially for people that have difficulty in focusing. It's to
What
focus.
the meaning of cauliflower? Sorry, could you repeat
It's
what the
called
meaning of
flow, like you're
means?
flowing.
The full term is called flow state. It's the
I didn't
concept
get it.
of water. It's the concept of
Yeah.
water flowing.
Yeah.
Then
So in this technique, you should focus only on one task and one task only, and just focus on that one. And once this is what I was saying last time, like in my in the live last time, is that you have your task and you make it easy, the easy task first, and you go on to the harder task. It's kind of the same kind of concept, is that you're going to focus on that one thing that you want to accomplish. Once you finish that, you can go on to something else. So this is pretty much what he's saying.
اوكي الدكتوره بتقول ان في تكنيك اسمه what the name of the technique cauliflower
Flow state.
Flow state.
cauliflower او flow. اوكي انا اول مره اسمع التكنيك ده. يعني بتقول ان انت بتركز في تاسك معين لحد ما تخلصه ثم تنتقل للاصعب ثم الاصعب ثم الاصعب. يس دكتور.
Okay. How does dyslexia impact your communication, especially in reading and writing tasks? And how do you manage this?
Let me see. Early on, it was quite difficult. In the recent years, reading and writing is, I would say writing is a 50-50, because there are, till today, I'm having issues with certain words, because English is, the grammar is a bit different. It has twists and techniques. So I use a tool, especially because in dyslexia, we suffer a lot with the spelling side of things. So I use a tool, a tool specified to correct the grammar, or not the grammar, the spelling, essentially. I'm not actually bad in grammar, but when it comes to reading, I have no problem in reading. Reading is fine. I can read in multiple languages, but it is just so far is my writing is slow. But when I was younger, I had a lot of trouble with sounding out words and writing as well.
Sorry, Mr. Sam, you said you have 50-50 in writing?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
writing.
That's mean the difficult is 100% in reading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mainly. No, the difficulty is not in reading; it's in writing.
No, he said
Writing
when
is
he was in
when I
school.
was young. When I
when
was
you-
younger, I had issues with both.
Okay, but now
But now is the writing he has difficulty in.
okay, but reading now is good.
Yes, I can read all right. I have no issues in reading in multiple languages. My essential issue is in writing. Writing has a bit of difficulty, especially with spelling words.
اوكي دلوقتي هو بيقول الدكتوره بتقول له عن الديسلكسيا كيف اثرت على تفاعلك يعني مع المحيطين او خصوصا في الجانب الاكاديمي. فقال ان هو وهو صغير كان عنده مشكله في الاثنين، في القراءه والكتابه، لكن حاليا هو المشكله الكبيره يعني هو بيعرف يقرا اكتر من لغه، لكن حاليا بيبقى عنده مشكله في الكتابه لانه الاحرف المتشابهه بتسبب صعوبه عند الناس عندهم ديسلكسيا، فهو صعوبته حاليا بتبقى موجوده اكتر في الكتابه لكن القراءه تمام. يس دكتور.
Okay. Have you found any benefits in having ADHD or dyslexia in terms of creativity, problem solving, or thinking outside of the box?
Yes, that is definite. I'll put it this way. Um, One thing is, it helped me a lot in writing. First of all, let's talk about the creativity side of things. I'm able to pick up things that I like quite simple, quite easy. I learned essentially when I was, say, maybe 10 or 11 years ago, when I was going through depression, I learned art. Okay, and because I have dyslexia and ADHD, I have a way with colors. I can create extravagant kind of colors on colors. So that kind of thing is also soothing for the eyes and soothing for the mind when you look at those kind of colors. So that's one part. And second is also I took the time to learn how to write poetry, which is one of my hobbies today.
What again? Second one, please.
The poetry.
أشعار. شعر.
What?
I can write poetry.
Sure. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. It's one of my hobbies.
اوكي اوكي. الدكتوره سالته خلينا نفكر، يعني تقول لك خلينا نفكر خارج الصندوق. هل وجدت افاده من يعني تشخيصك او صدتك بالاي دي اتش دي او وجدت من اي دي اتش دي اي استفاده؟ فقال خلينا نبدا بالحاجات اللي هي المبتكره، يعني طلع عنده او قدر يساعد نفسه او ان هو يطلع موهبته في حاجتين، الرسم والشعر. يعني هو بيعرف يكتب شعر كويس جدا، كمان الرسم بقى عنده قدرة على دمج الألوان بطريقة كويسة جدا. يس دكتور.
Okay. Can you walk us through your typical day and how you manage distractions and stay organized?
Yeah, sure. I'll wake up roughly between
Sure,
5
doctor.
and 6.
I will go and I will back by 2 minutes, okay?
Okay. We'll talk
Sorry.
about this. Okay. Okay. So walk us through your typical day and how you manage distractions and stay organized.
Okay. Well, we can do that. I wake up at a certain period of time, which is roughly between 5 and 6. All right. The first thing I'll do, I'll take my medication, especially because I suffer from bipolar. So I take medication for that. So, wait, no, I don't take medication for bipolar. I take it for thyroid. Please forgive me. I take medication for thyroid. So then I will go and get out my checklist and I check it. Then I look at the other things that is on the schedule according to what time I have to do them. So I schedule that on time and I go and do them. I start up the computer by 8:30. Then I go through the emails and things that I need to go through by 9:30. I should be finished. Then I go and I do outreach. By 11, I'm done. Then I go and I have my meal of the day, and then I prepare for the gym. And then I go to the gym by 3, and then I come back. I do another, I would say another hour and a half of work. Then I'm off for the day, and then I have some time to myself, and I there are days I will watch TV. There are days I don't, because TV is one of the biggest distractions when it comes to the work day. So I essentially leave it for the weekends.
Yeah, TV and mobile and these types of things.
Unfortunately, when it comes to mobiles, all my work is digital, so I don't really have a choice when it comes to that.
Okay.
I don't really use mobile as a personal sense, other than communicating with family.
Okay. Let me see what's the question. Okay. What role has technology played in helping you cope with challenges of ADHD and dyslexia?
Let's see. There are great
Sorry,
programs.
I'm back. Could you repeat the
You're
question,
back.
doctor, please? Yeah, sorry.
We'll go back to the last question. Okay.
Okay.
Walk us through your typical day again so that he can translate.
All right. As I said before, between what did I say? Yeah, 5 and 6. I'll wake up. I'll take my medication. Then I will go and get out my checklist and check what I need to do. I'll check the fact that I took the medication. Then I go and see what is the rest of the things that I've planned for the day. Then I go start up the computer between 8:30 to 9. Then I go through the emails. By 9:30, I'm done. Then I check for messages outreach. By 11:30, I'm done. Then I go and have my meal of the day. Then I prepare for the gym. By 12:30, I should be ready. By between 2 and 3, I will leave for the gym. I'll come back by 5:30. Then I continue working for another hour, hour and a half. I check other platforms that I have work attachments to. I check on marketing. I check on outreach. I check in the back office, especially because I'm also writing books for work purposes. So once I check all the factors that I've done, the things that I had planned for the day, then I will close off the system, and I'll have some time for my personal, as you say, my personal time. That's between 6:30 and 7.
uh, Finish?
Ahmed, yeah, I'm finished, but are you lost or are you still
No, no, no.
okay?
I know. I will translate. I need
All
to
right.
say, yeah, that's very good, very good. I think the one who doesn't have ADHD can't do like you. MashaAllah, you arrange the whole day.
Yeah, but the thing is, it gets boring. Keep in
Yeah.
mind, the
Uh,
day can be very boring for someone like me because I'm stuck on the same routine. Okay.
why you didn't change it time by time, like week by week or
Uh,
1 month by one?
I do see. The routine is month by month. Okay. I change it monthly. I move things around,
Okay,
especially because see, I'll tell you this thing about ADHD. ADHD and dyslexic are very particular where things should go. Okay, and that
okay,
also goes the same way for my checklist. If I'm supposed to do something first and I move it around, they don't fit, it will annoy me and I won't want to do it.
uh,
So I
uh,
schedule things by time, by place, and like I'll give you an example. When I go shopping, okay, I'll go shopping for essentials for the house. I
okay,
will write things from the entrance of what is closer to get. Okay,
okay,
imagine say I have to go and buy milk and eggs and cheese.
okay.
If the milk is in the first aisle and cheese is in the second and eggs is on the third, I'll have to write it by aisle, because if I write it the other way around, I will
Oh,
get annoyed midway and it will ruin the rest of my day.
oh,
Yes,
okay. Let me.
this is where we are sort of very particular how we put things.
Okay.
This is why
What? Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
this is why it gets boring. This is why it gets boring for us. But
Ah,
this is the only way we can function, because if you move
okay.
things around, they tend to be bothersome.
اوكي انا ما سمعتش السؤال من الدكتوره، بس اتوقعه يعني سالته ان هي كانت بتساله عن الديلي لايف او بيعمل ايه يعني في يومه مثلا كمثال. فهو شرح بالظبط هو بيعمل ايه. يعني قال مثلا بصحى الساعه 6، الساعه مثلا 6 ونص بعمل كذا، الساعه من 8 ونص ل 9 بشوف الايميل، مثلا من 9 او من 9 ونص ل 10 مثلا بفطر، من الساعه كذا للساعه كذا بروح الجيم. يعني حدد بالظبط وقته وماشي ازاي. فانا سالته دي حاجه كويسه جدا يعني، لان الشخص الطبيعي او العادي مش بيقدر ينظم يومه بالشكل ده. فقال لي ربما يكون بالنسبه لك ظاهره كده، ولكن هي بتخليك يعني getting bored، يعني بتحس بملل. تخيل انت بتعمل نفس الحاجه كل يوم. فانا سالته تاني ليه مش بتغير ده كل شهر؟ قال لي انا بحاول اغيره كل شهر، ولكن مثلا اللي هو عامله الشهر ده هو اللي ممكن يسبب له ملل او ارق. ليه؟ انه مثلا لو هو نفترض ان هو نازل يشتري مثلا بيض ولبن وسمك، هو حافظهم بالترتيب كده في السوبر ماركت: بيض لبن سمك. فلو راح مثلا في السوبر ماركت لقى سمك وبعدين بيض وبعدين لبن، يعني مش بنفس الترتيب اللي هو كان كاتبه، ده بيضايقه او بيزعجه يعني. فمن هنا بتيجي الملل. ليه؟ لانها متعبه جدا ليك اذا تم تغيير اي جزء في الروتين اليومي. يس دكتور.
Okay. Do you ever find issues with ADH paralysis? And if you do, how do you get out of it and how do you deal with it?
I didn't get the
Forgive me.
question, please. Sorry.
Okay. Do you ever have issues with ADHD paralysis?
Paralysis
And
means ADHD paralysis means.
it means that the time that you can't do anything, it's you're paralyzed basically. You know,
Okay.
we call it ADHD paralysis. And if you experience ADHD paralysis, how do you deal with it?
Forgive me, but this is the first time I've heard of the word ADHD
This
paralysis.
is
Can you?
this is like the days that just basically you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to get off the couch,
Yeah.
you just can't get yourself motivated to do something.
Yeah, there have been those days. But see, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. So I have my own, and I'm sure other people have their own of getting past this. For me, I have my fiance, which I would say, she supports me in every way. And when things get hard for me, she is there to help me get out of these situations. I have her at my back 24/7. So when things are upsetting or things get to that degree, she has her ways of getting me out of it. For other people, they'll have different ways of getting themselves out. But I think before I got engaged, this was a very hard thing to get out of because it could last for months at a time. I could go into a deep depression. I wouldn't want to work. I wouldn't want to get out of bed. I wouldn't want to move. And it even affected my weight to a certain degree. There was a time my weight went up to 189 kg. So
Okay.
that it can be a very dangerous downslope. And what I've learned about my personality is I cannot let depression settle in, because the moment it comes in, it's like a leech that it is really hard to get out.
واو. يا دكتورة بتسأله طيب يعني هل أحيانا بتجد صعوبة بسبب ال ADHD في إنك أحيانا بتحس إنك عايز تنام، ما تتحركش، ما تخرجش للعمل؟ فقال لها أنا يعني يعتبر تقسيم حياته لجزئين. الجزء الأول أو خلينا نقول الجزئية دي، هو قال إن هو كل شخص عنده نقاط قوة ونقاط ضعف وهو عارفها. فما بيحصل نقاط ضعف المفروض إن في مثلا في كذا طريقة إنك تقاوم ده، منها ان في حد بيدعمك او بيقومك او بيقول لك يلا، يعني بيحاول يساعدك انك تخرج من الحاله دي. في الحاله دي هو بيقول ان خطيبته كانت او اللي هو خطيبها يعني هي اللي بتحاول تخرجه من الحاله دي. لما بتحصل له ان هو مش عايز يشتغل، مش عايز يقوم، مش عايز يتحرك، هي بتحاول ان هي تساعده او تزقه ان هو يقوم يشتغل. بيقول لك ان كل حد بقى من الناس او اللي عندهم ADHD عندهم طريقه مختلفه في حل المشكله دي. ممكن يكون واحد مامته اللي بتساعده او والده، او هو عنده مثلا دافع معين عايز يخلصه، هو ده اللي بيبوشهم او بيساعده ان هو يقوم يعني. طيب بيقول كمان ان هو قبل الخطوبه كان الموضوع ده بيتكرر معاه كتير جدا وما كانش يلاقي له حل، يعني زي مثلا ان هو كان مش بيحب يشتغل او مش بيحب يشتغل، او مثلا اوقات بيحس ان هو مش عايز يقوم من على السرير، مش عايز يتحرك، مش عايز ياكل وهكذا. يس دكتور.
Okay. What role has technology played in helping you cope with challenges of ADHD and dyslexia?
You asked that earlier.
Yeah, I know, but he wasn't here to translate.
Yeah.
Okay. As I said before, that there are many tools out there today that help ADHD and dyslexic, especially such as spelling, for people who are weak in math, for instance, people who are weak in grammar, because ADHD and dyslexia have different forms for different people. In my case, I have issues in spelling. So that is, I have a tool that helps me in that category. Other people have, of course, different things that they have to deal with. So in my case, I have a special tool that will help me either change a word or change the spelling according to how I want it.
اوه فيري جود. بتقول له هل في حاجه تكنولوجيه ساعدتك انك تتخطى ال ADHD او الصعوبه في الديسلكسيا؟ فقال لها ان في تولز او في ادوات كتير جدا دلوقتي بتساعد الاشخاص دي، سواء في السبيلنج حسب بقى مشكلته، سواء في السبيلنج يعني في النطق او في الجرامر. او اللي هي الازمنه مثلا، او في الماث اللي هي الرياضيات. فقال لك مثلا يعني على سبيل المثال هو عنده مشكله في السبيلنج، فهو حاليا عنده كذا اداه بتقدر ان هي تساعده ان هو يتخطى ده، سواء بتغير له الكلمه خالص او بتجيب له سبيلنج تاني للكلمه بحيث ان هو يتخطى جزء السبيلنج ده. يس دكتور.
Okay. How do you manage, how do you balance managing your own ADHD while coaching others in high pressure environments?
First of all, the high pressure environments don't bother me so much because I thrive in high pressure environments. It is one of my strengths. In my ADHD affects me also in a personal environment, such as I guess you could say I lose focus essentially, and things tend to mix up. But when I'm coaching people, I plan beforehand what I'll be coaching them on, what is their strengths and weaknesses, and I focus on that. And usually, if I'm having any, I would say, challenges throughout, I will postpone the meeting for, I'll postpone whatever I had challenges with. I'll postpone it for the next meeting. And of course, I will do my due diligence beforehand.
Sorry, Mr. Sam, I have a question here. You said
Yeah.
sometimes you lost your focusing, yes, but in your job
Yes.
not. Why?
No.
Why? Because you make plan to your job. Why you didn't
Yeah,
make plan to everything to didn't lose your
no, that cannot. See, you need to understand one thing. When you are doing your due diligence for work, it's different because you do strategic planning. Okay, and first of all,
And
I'm
you
a
get
strategic.
focused. You get
Yeah,
hyper
and
focused.
yeah. Oh,
Ah.
I get. When it comes to work, essentially use something called flow state, which is hyper focus on a certain element, certain category, but it also cuts out other things. Like, I'll give you an example. If I am hyper focused on work, like say I'm building an email list, or I'm building a website, or whatever I might be doing at the time, even if somebody came and spoke to me, I would not pay attention to what they're saying.
Okay.
So there's a positive and a negative side, a pro and con of the situation.
Yeah, this is I can't like understand it. How you can make?
Okay.
I will translate. I know I know what you say. I will
I,
translate,
I,
but it's
I,
difficult to me. You manage or you plan to your job, but you can't plan to the whole life. How?
Ahmed, I think the best thing that we can do is, going forward, we should send you a detailed description of what flow state is, so you can have a better understanding of its pro and cons.
I
Because flow
understand
state
what you
is a
say. No,
very, yeah.
I understand the language, but and it not come in my mind how you are
Yeah.
focusing in the job
Okay.
100%
Yeah.
because you
Okay.
are hyper focusing. Then
I will explain it in Arabic so you understand it better.
okay.
العقل عندك الاشياء بتقدر تسويها ومش تقدر، فهمتني؟ لا بس هذه عندك الجزئات العقل، الدماغ مثال. اوكي. الجزء انك تمشي، الجزء انك تسمع، الجزء انك تتكلم، هذا كلهم بيتسكروا، كل واحد منهم بيتسكروا، وبس الواحد يبقى لك النظر.
اوكي.
فهمتني؟ يعني انت تكون جالس وتعمل شيء معينه وخالق، ما تقدر تسوي شيء ثاني. حتى لو حد يجي يحكي لك انت ما بتسمعهم اصلا. انت وبعدين حد بيجي لك بعد اسبوع يقول فلان بغي هذاك الموضوع كلمناك، وانت اصلا بتفكر تقول انت تتكلم عن شنو اصلا، مش اذكر.
اوكي.
يعني هذه الطريقه هذه يشتغل. It is pros and cons the way this actually works.
Okay.
It's a technique. It's a technique that is for people who have very bad focus.
اوكي. هو يمكن شرح الجزء ده بالعربي كويس جدا، يعني يمكن هتفهموا منه، لكن انا كان يعني هو اللي قاله ان هو احيانا بيفقد الانتباه، لكن في شغله لما بيكون مخطط ليه بشكل كويس جدا بيقدر ان هو ما يفقدش فيه الانتباه، حتى لو حد يجي يكلمه في شيء ربما هو ما يلتفتش ليه ولكن بيكمل في شغله لانه عنده بلان معين. يس دكتور.
Okay. Were there any pivotal moments where you felt your ADHD or dyslexia held you back in your career, and how did you overcome them?
Well, yes. One thing is, I will say that when you have ADHD and dyslexia together, you tend not to have a filter. And among times, I found myself in deep holes.
Trouble.
Yeah, especially when working amongst the opposite sex, especially, they would take things the wrong way, or I would say things I shouldn't just out of without thinking. And it has caused me quite a lot of turmoil over the years. So, how did I overcome it? With a lot of, I would say, mental strength training, because I had to learn to hold my tongue in a lot of ways. Because especially as a dyslexic and ADHD, the problem is when you get excited over something, you talk without thinking. And I had to learn how not to speak, how to actually stay quiet and observe the situation beforehand.
I need to ask a question before I translate that. What exactly you mean by if you have ADHD and dyslexia, you can't make filter?
يعني, how to put it? Filter means you cannot filter words
Yeah, you
because
can't make this. Yeah, yes, say.
okay. الفلتر نسبة انك من نوع الكلام مش تقدر تقولها اللي قدام الناس خارج، فهمتني؟ يعني الاشياء مثل يقول الكلمات المضرة، الكلمات
فهمت.
ايوه.
You mean if someone has ADHD and dyslexia, he can't make filter by his words
there's
if he
no
excited.
control. Yes.
Yeah, usually they say things just off the wall, I guess you would say, things that they don't mean to come out, and it happens with a lot of people that might have.
Okay, I think I should give you guys a little bit of a demonstration of one incident, especially because for our viewers who don't know this can happen. Because for people who face this, they should not take this offense because it's not intended to be offensive. I was working with somebody a few years ago who had a limp, and I was trying to ask what happened, but what came out of my mouth, I was like, "Were you born that way, or did someone crash into you?" So it can really come out the wrong way. Especially, it can be taken in a very bad way for people who do not understand that these people do not have filters. So, in my perspective, I had to train myself not to speak at certain places, because in order to look and act professional, I have to hold my tongue.
This is only in words, or also in like something you are doing daily. Like if someone needs something, you will go to catch it fast.
When you're younger, it can be also with action, because as a kid, I would get impulses like trying to jump off the stairs or things like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because especially children from the age of 5 to 8, their imaginations are quite wild, and dyslexics and ADHD children tend to have a more broadened horizon with their imagination. So some of them might imagine they can fly at certain points of their life.
Okay. هو بيقول ان الاطفال اللي عندهم فرط حركه وشده انتباه احيانا بيكون عندهم لما بيشعروا بالاكسايتد او الحماس بيحاولوا ان هم يطلعوا حاجات من جواهم ربما تطلع بمعنى غلط سواء كلمات او افعال. عشان كده ده بيبرر لك ان الطفل ممكن يكون مثلا في ايد طفل تاني لعبه فتلاقي الطفل عنده فرط حركه وشده انتباه يجري بسرعه ويخطف اللعبه دي، او مثلا ان هو يكون عايز يعبر بتعبيرات معينه ويطلعها باسلوب غلط فاللي قدامه يفهم بشكل خطا. Yes, doctor.
Okay. Have you ever faced any stigma or misconceptions about ADHD and dyslexia in your professional world? If so, how did you address them?
Stigma, you mean people misunderstanding, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was a victim of that a few years ago. I was working in a high performance sales company. and I was actually one of the high performers. I had a good margin. I had a good movement, as when it came to our sales tactics and everything. But there was an incident. They found out I was dyslexic, and they used that to transport me to a different division, which I was no longer able to sell. I was no longer able to achieve incentives, and which did have a big effect on my finances. And it was all due to them finding out that I had so-called dyslexia, and they labeled me retarded, unable to work. So I eventually resigned from that.
I think Ahmed is frozen. Yeah. Hopefully he'll come back in a minute. Yeah. I was going to ask him. So it's basically that they forced you, out of your sales department and
Yeah,
into another kind of department, only because they heard that you had dyslexia.
yeah, essentially, yes.
Okay. I'll go on until Ahmed can get back. I don't know why
Yeah,
he froze.
yeah. When he's frozen, he looks freaky. Seriously.
Okay. I mean,
And he's
he
gone.
yeah, I think he went out to come back in. Just wait. Let me just see if he's coming back in. Um let me see. Okay, how has your personal experience with ADHD and dyslexia shaped your approach as a business coach?
And essentially, I get to see things in a different light. So I have worked with people who also have dyslexia or ADHD, or some of them have different disabilities and things they were facing at work, things people didn't understand them. So essentially, I would take the time and give them different approaches how to deal with the situation. Essentially, I can
Okay.
think outside the box at a moment's notice. I can, because when it comes to tactics and strategies, they are one of the best tools to work on, especially in business coaching.
Okay, let me just get out here. Hold on. He got kicked out.
It might be his internet.
Yeah, he has. He's living in UAE, but it seems like he has difficulty with the internet.
Well, if the internet's not fast enough, it'll tend to do something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me find my questions again. Then we'll have to go back for translation when he comes back.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, I haven't seen him come back yet. Hold on. I was on number. Okay. Stigma. Okay. What advice would you give young professionals with ADHD or dyslexia who feel discouraged in their career paths?
I would say cancel out the outer noise and believe in yourself. Because even though dyslexia can have its challenges, we also have strengths others don't. And
Okay.
I truly believe that people can surpass their limits as long as they have the self confidence to do so.
Okay. Can you translate that into Arabic?
No, I can't.
Okay. Sorry for anybody that is needing Arabic. He can't translate that. Okay. How do you maintain confidence when you're dealing with setbacks related to your condition?
Uh, I forget about the condition and I focus on something I want. And I am a very greedy person, so when I want something, I will fight for it.
Okay, you'll work towards it.
Yes.
Okay. Can you share a success story for when you felt your ADHD and dyslexia actually contributed positively to a business or coaching outcome?
Sure. First of all, because I have ADHD and dyslexia, I don't focus so much on the I would say physical things. I focus more on digital. Okay, and I had faced a client who was suffering with debt and a very big. He was deep in debt, and he was trying to get his wife out of the hospital and so many things. So I took him on as I became his consultant because he was in a startup company for uh, what is it? What's that company? Uh, Building materials and stuff. Construction. It was a construction company, and electric works. So I helped him create a complete platform and everything for ordering, for work forms, for invoicing, everything. I create him a complete digital. Uh,
Okay, continue with that. Then you answer this lady's question.
uh, um, yeah, as I was saying, we worked together roughly over a period of a year, and I got him out of $100,000 of debt. And not only did he get his wife out of the hospital, and the issue is in the UK when you are in debt, and they will not even let you take your family member out of the hospital. They'll keep them in like a prisoner. As such, they will not provide them with medical care or anything. So we would say, Alhamdulillah, that he got out of all his problems, and he even got his company. We innovated his company not only as a startup, we got it to a global level. So that is one of the success stories of when I first started as a consultant. Um,
Okay, Mr. Sam, if my child is better at oral than writing, what is the advice to help him with this based on your experience?
uh, I would say visual learning, especially if like audiobooks, video stories, these things are better because also I am an oral learner versus a like instead of writing, I was very bad at it when I was a younger child. So I would learn things like from audiobooks and video books. So it is a better option for them because they will be more intrigued to watch things. Uh, it depends on if they are intrigued by sound or by video. Because me personally, I was more intrigued by media. So I would learn things from video stories or uh, I would say documentaries and such. It helped me a lot when I was learning.
Yeah, another thing about the audiobooks, you can play the story and the child can follow along. So it helps them also start to recognize words and things like that with the audiobooks. Okay, let me see. Okay, the last question I have is what message would you like to convey to employers and coworkers about supporting ADHD and dyslexia in the workplace?
I
I
would
got one
say
more
don't
question.
judge. I would say don't judge because people will surprise you. Not only can they surpass what your expectation of them if you give them the chance, they can be really beneficial because they can think in ways other people don't.
Yeah. Okay, I have one last question, and I think it's an important one. What message do you give to teachers that have children with dyslexia and dysgraphia in their classrooms?
Okay, we need to be clear about one thing. Do not belittle them. When you belittle a child who has this, it will kill their inspiration and motivation. They will not have any self confidence to do anything. It was one of the biggest mistakes that my teachers did to me, and it affected me on the long term. I
Okay.
would say treat them exactly the way you treat the other students and give them space to grow. Give them challenges that they can have. I would say um, rivals. They can have something to thrive towards.
Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%. Patience. The teachers need
Yeah,
to have
yeah, they do.
patience with these children. I have seen a lot of kids coming in, and the parents complain about the teachers not having the patience and not having, um, you know, putting their child in the back of a classroom instead of up front. There's a lot of techniques to help children that have ADHD and dyslexia thrive in the classroom. But, the techniques are important, like putting them closer so that the teacher can pay attention to them, giving them movement breaks between classes. There's so many different techniques that children that kids can learn from, or learn by, and the teachers need to accommodate these things. So I've had lots of people that come and complain. Okay, there's another question for you, mr
Uh,
sam Mr. Sam, I have two of my kids, three with ADHD, who have dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia. They are being treated very badly in the classroom in front of the classmates. What do you think about this?
I think it's. I think this is a very terrible, very bad example how to treat children with dyslexia.
This is
Uh,
something true. Yeah.
this is one of the biggest mistakes and one of the worst things that can happen to a child with this kind of, as you say, challenge, because they will lose their self confidence, they will lose their desire to learn, they will look at it as a very negative environment. Um, I will say that you need to find a way to change the atmosphere for them. Otherwise, it's going to be really bad going forward for them.
Okay. What do you think personally about, say, homeschooling kids that have these issues, especially when it comes to schools in the Middle East?
Um, honestly, I'm not against or for homeschooling because of two reasons. If you're homeschooling children, it takes away from their ability to
So,
thrive among other children,
mhm.
because they need the social skills. Because if you homeschool them, they will lose that kind of momentum they can get from a normal school life. Because they need to learn how to deal with conflict. They will need to learn how to deal with negative and positive environments, and this cannot be done in homeschooling. This
Yeah.
can be done in an atmosphere with children.
Okay. What do you think this mother can do to help her children that are in this situation, since you have been in this situation before?
Um, I will say, thankfully, my parents were, they took a hands-on approach. First of all, they went and spoke to the principal and the teachers personally. So I'd say start with that and see where it goes from there before you take any bigger or legal actions against the school for this kind of behavior towards the children.
Okay. All right. I hope, if there's any more questions, you can put them in the comments. Otherwise, we're going to end. Inshallah, next week we will have an interview with a developmental psychologist that works with kids with ADHD, autism, dyslexia, all kinds of different issues. So, inshallah, that will be next Tuesday, inshallah, at the same time. Thank you, Sam, for joining us.
You
And
are very welcome.
unfortunately, we lost Ahmed on question 14. I think he had some internet issues. So until next week, we will see you next week. Bye.
Cheers,
Wait,
everybody.
bye.